What if the snap didn't kill Tony Stark?
Iron Man.
No funeral, no hologram goodbye, or no I love you 3000.
But she loves me 3000.
Instead, one of the most dangerous versions of Tony Stark that we've ever seen. Because if Tony lived, the MCU doesn't just change, it explodes. So let's break down exactly what would have happened. So we know when Endgame, Tony Stark snapped his finger and wiped away Thanos and his entire army. But this time, he survives. Not perfectly, not unharmed, but the nano garlic still destroys him. His arm is permanently damaged. The arc reactor struggles to keep up with his heart, but it's still good news because he still lives. But that also changes everything, because Tony Stark surviving means the world has something that they didn't expect. A man who destroyed basically a god. Now after Endgame, the world would treat Tony Stark like a living legend. He becomes more than an Avenger. He becomes untouchable. The government's trying to recruit him, trying to get all his tech, and everyone in the industry just want Tony Stark's protection. But this is where things can get a little dangerous, because Tony Stark always believed in one thing: if you mess with time, it tends to mess back.
If you mess with time, it tends to mess back. You'll see.
He saw alternate timelines, he discovered time travel, and not only that, he knows what's extremely possible right now. And he doesn't just ignore threats, he prepares for them. But would you think the snap changes Tony mentally? Like, he just held the power of 6 Infinity Stones. And with that being said, he felt what it's like to control reality. And that kind of power, it don't just disappear from your mind. Tony is gonna start beginning to upgrade everything. He's gonna upgrade the defense on his suit, he's gonna upgrade just explosive weapons, just everything. But if that do sound similar, it's because he did some of the similar things in Age of Ultron. But this time, Tony doesn't ask for permission. This will push him closely to becoming a superior Iron Man, a version of Tony Stark that believes he knows what's best. And then he'll really not care if people disagree with him or not. Now this is something that's interesting. Let's talk about Spider-Man's future. Now if Tony survived the events of Spider-Man Far From Home doesn't even exist, like even a new Tony Stark tech, it wouldn't fall into the wrong hands anymore, which means Mysterio never probably becomes a mobile threat. But also Peter grows up differently. Now with Tony Stark still alive, Peter doesn't have to become the next Iron Man. He becomes something better, like his own hero. And Tony, he kind of becomes the mentor that he never had. Now here's the twist no one talks about. What if Tony surviving creates a worse future for everybody? Because in Endgame, Tony dies a hero. But if he lives long enough, does he becomes the very thing that he fears the most? A man who believes that only he should control the future. A man willing to override freedom for safety. A man who starts crossing lines. Not a villain, but not the same hero either. Now Tony Stark's death in Endgame wasn't just emotion. It was necessary, because Iron Man surviving doesn't give us peace. It gives us escalation, more tech, more control, more power. And in the Marvel universe, power always comes with consequences. But now I want to know, do you think Tony Stark surviving saved the MCU, or do it breaks it completely? I want to hear you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. So if you guys interested in Marvel content, DC content, movie reactions, TV show reactions, all the amazing movies of the world, this is the place to be. So come be part of the family.